Hello and welcome to the ancient town of Hoi An. Now this place has had hundreds of years of tradition in embroidery and tailoring. It has inspired many modern day fashion designers from in and outside Vietnam, one of whom is Louise Mogensen, an expat coming from Denmark, who will be the topic for this edition of Expat Living.
My name is Louise Mogensen and I'm originally from Denmark. Vietnam has been a long-term fascination for me, and 17 years ago when I was in my early 20s I decided to make the move to Vietnam, which has been my home ever since. In particular in small places like Hoi An. I live in a village outside Hoi An and everybody knows each other. Everybody's in and out of each other's houses. You know, you say that it takes a village to raise a child, and in Vietnam this is true. And this is a beautiful thing about Vietnam that I really like.
For centuries, Hoi An has been the crossroads of many tailors from Vietnam and afar. Today, it is home to over 400 tailor houses, and among these is the Danish brand Othala. Hey Louise! What a wonderful store you have here.
Thank you.
So, first of all, what's the brand all about?
Well, the brand name is Othala. And Othala is actually the last rune in the old Nordic alphabet dating back from the Vikings. The reason why I picked it is because I like the meaning of it. Being the last letter, it is all about the returning to the heritage. It's about returning to the sacred land or your ancestral lot. And for me it makes sense because I have my Scandinavian heritage being from Denmark, but I lived in Vietnam for 17 years, which means by today I consider Vietnam to be part of my personal heritage. The other thing I like about Othala is while it is the last rune, it doesn't only signify the ending, it's actually the whole journey. So it's the beginning, it's the story that you're born with, it's your heritage, the ancestral lot that you come from, what you're given, and what you're given through your journey in life that allows you to develop into who you are and becomes part of your heritage as you live your life.
Okay, so speaking of journey, can you take me on a journey through your store?
Through my store, absolutely. So normally I get inspired by different things and I group them into story.
Okay.
So we start with this one.
All right.
Okay. So the story around this one is water. I'm quite sure you're familiar with just sitting and staring at water. Many people sit and stare at the ocean.
Water, especially when it's hot like this.
Exactly. And this one is actually, in a hot day like this, the water condensing running down the glass. That inspired me originally for this pattern. So I don't know if you see it now and you have that thinking,
yeah.
you can actually see
the... Visualize it,
yeah? Okay. I did another one which is based on the sea. So this one here, we were actually doing a photo shoot with another dress down at the ocean, and the model was standing in the water. And as the waves were coming up, I thought that looked stunning on the dress. So I created a dress that had the beading with the waves on it already.
All right.
Yeah, so inspired again around water. So that's one story. I'll show you something else, okay?
Okay, so what do we have next?
Well, so what I wanted to show you is how my Scandinavian background is influencing some of my designs.
Okay.
So in Scandinavia, we normally always design with very clean lines, okay? So it's a clean line, everything is very graphic, very clean, yeah? For this one, what I do is I normally draw and then I send it to my silk supplier who prints directly on the silk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now this one here, the pattern in this one is inspired by a Danish artist and graphic designer called Bjørn Winblad. And he's a bit special to me. One, because I grew up with him. So everybody in Denmark knew him because he's famous for drawing the posters for Tivoli Garden, which is a famous amusement park. But also because while he was Scandinavian and had many clean lines, he always had the Oriental inspiration, which I can link to, the mixture of the Oriental and the Scandinavian. Living and working in Vietnam, I've been here for a very long time. I'm of course very familiar with the ao dai. And it's actually when I arrived in Vietnam, it was one of the first things I saw it and I went, it's stunning. Because it is super elegant and it's very flattering for the female shape. So they're very nice for being formal when you have an event and you have to stand straight, but you cannot wear them so easily every day. Well, so this one is basically, it's made in a jersey. So it's the same quality as you would have like in a very nice t-shirt.
All right.
And it has elastic in it. It's 100% cotton. So it's very easy to move around in. I made it a bit shorter too, so that it's more urban and also more casual. Yeah?
Fair enough.
And that makes for an ao dai you can wear every day. Hence I call it the urban ao dai. So after you've seen the ao dai, it was easy for me to move from the Vietnamese inspiration to the Chinese. So this one is based around the traditional Chinese dress, which is called the Quy Pao. Given that we're in Vietnam, I've called this design the Ao Pao. Half Vietnamese, half Chinese. And where the ao dai was very casual, for this one, the Ao Pao, I have made it so you can wear it both casually and formally because we have added the beading work on the neck.
To find out all the intricacy as well as secrets behind Louise's work, today I'm going to intrude her workshop where all the magic happens to figure out how it all works out. Hey Louise, how you doing? What are you
Hey.
working on there?
Hey Michael, I'm working on the design for a new silk top for the shop.
All right.
Yeah.
So how does this process work? How do you start?
Right, well normally I start where I get my ideas from all around the places, and I start by trying to put my idea into a drawing. Then I hand it over to my team, and normally he will do a pattern. I have a fantastic pattern cutter too, and the amount of time that he comes and suggests to do something in a different way that turns out to be much better is just amazing.
Cô ấy thì rất tuyệt vời bên cái chuyện có thể là vẽ thiết kế hoặc có những ý tưởng mới cho tất cả các sản phẩm, đưa những cái nét độc đáo vô trong cái sản phẩm để cho anh làm mới lạ nên những cái thiết kế của chị.
If it's something that has beading or embroidery work on, normally when this is done, I get it back and I draw how I want the beading work done. I have both a cutter and a seamstress, so she will normally cut the garment, then she will sew it. Once it's finished sewing, she will pass it to the embroidery and beading team. They will do their work.
Thiết kế là những cái mẫu mà hot so với những cái mẫu mà thông thường mà mình đã từng làm. Có nghĩa là khi mà những cái mẫu chỉ làm ra nó là mình rất thích làm, và từ những cái mẫu đó mà có thể cho mình học hỏi thêm nhiều hơn.
And then my QC lady will afterwards check that all the dimension is correct, that everything is sitting straight the way they should be. I'm absolutely amazed by my team skills. And what I really like about that is all of them were taught by family or somebody they knew. This is not something you learn in school. So it's really a unique creative quality that they bring to the table.
Sorrow, I can take a leave by tomorrow.
For every fashion label, photo shoots are crucial because it reflects the brand's personality. Right now I'm at a photo shoot for Louise's Othala brand, and as you can see, the beautiful scenery of Hoi An has become the inspiration for their piece. And as you can see right here, these guys have actually invested a lot, and they have taken to the middle of the river for this shoot. How awesome is that?
Oh, I'm not scared. Actually, I really love the adventure. I love the adventurous shoots the most because I'm not a girl for boring things. So I really like it.
First time for me on a boat, and it's always a bit of a challenge. Louise is very professional, and most of the things that she do wholeheartedly, and the results are really good. So I'm just trying to keep up with her standards.
Well, the scenery makes the whole photo shoot interesting. If you got no interesting scenery, then the photos become quite boring. Now, you can create all that in a studio or somewhere else, but again, it loses the authenticity. Here, you have the authentic scenes. It's beautiful. It has something unique to offer. That gives value to the brand.
Okay, so what is it about Hoi An that made you want to place your business here?
Well, first of all, Hoi An is an amazing, beautiful spot on this earth. You have the old Asian town, the architecture, all the traditions here. You have the beach, you have the mountains around. It's just a beautiful place to be. Secondly, there's a very nice scene here of artists and artisans. And for the artists, I would say both amongst expats and locals. So there's some really, really talented local artists here. There's one lady particular that fascinates me because she's both an artist and a designer in one go.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, all right. So what I really like is the way that she does art and garments at the same time, right? So if you look at that, that's a beautiful dye. And then she painted by hand these things on, right? For me, this is a beautiful night sky, wintertime with some trees, right? But it's a piece of wearable art, which for me is really special.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Show you some of the other things that she does.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for letting us stop by today. So what is special about the way that Vietnamese paint on silk?
Yeah. So Vietnamese paintings are different with Chinese. We use the same ink color, but the technique in Vietnam to paint on silk is more art. Because Chinese, they just draw on the dry paper or dry silk.
Yeah.
But in Vietnam, we made the background all wet first. So we have a background is yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the painting.
And then the yellow have different tones because it's wet.
Yeah. And after we do many layer, the silk is shiny and it's see-through.
Then Win took us on a tour across her wearable art as well, and that certainly reiterated that fashion, like art, has no boundaries. Now that you've seen all the goss and glam that the gorgeous and beautiful town of Hoi An has to offer to the world of fashion, why don't you come over here and have a look yourself? Now, as usual, it's time for our section of Time Out.
For music, drink, some snacks, and a comfy seat, well, that's all I need for now. You're watching Time Out, and I'm in Tiny Music Club, where you find crazy good originals by Vietnamese musicians and also expat. Now, cheers!
Everywhere
went against all advice.
The Tiny Music Club is a live music event that happens every Tuesday evening in the Old Quarter. Here, expat and locals perform original music in an intimate and supportive environment.
An age is a crime. Use more of your muscle and less of your mind. But don't worry. Don't quit. He's loud and lovely, all bones and skin. The Lord of everything.
So I'm sitting here with a singer and songwriter, Jordan Senior from England, and who often perform here, right?
Yes.
Hello. How does it feel to perform in a cozy place like this?
It's great. It's always a little bit different. There's always a good crowd in. People are very responsive. It's really good. It's unusual. There's I can't really think of anywhere else in Hanoi where you get the kind of coziness, the kind of response and the attention from the audience. So it's great. It's a privilege. Got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wanna feel this happening inside of me. Just as the winds change.
Every event will have a host and a guest artist, where they perform for about 2 hours. If you have your own songs and want to be on stage, you can easily email to hanoisocialclub@gmail.com.
Or you can actually turn up, and at the end of the evening, if you want to kind of do like an open audition, if somebody wants to get up and play some of their songs, then they're more than welcome to do that. And we do want original music, so if you're playing any original songs and you're in Hanoi, then please let us know.
Litter between sleepers.
For those who just want to come and enjoy the vibe, it's a cafe, so there's no shortage of food and drinks.
On papers all.
Thank you very much. Cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.
Hello, I saw you guys sat in the front row, probably the best view, right?
Yeah,
What do you think about the show?
It was really, really nice, and it was also really nice to see someone Vietnamese singing, because normally it's just like foreigners singing. It was a really good show tonight.
I just like to come here and to forget about all my daily life. Just sit here, head off, just enjoy the music and think about nothing. That's gorgeous.
Very nice. People often perform indie or pop rock. The songs revolve around themes of life and love. Can you tell us a little bit about your music?
Well, it's brilliant.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Yes.
It's acoustic, you know. There's different elements of a bit of jazz, a bit of folk, and a bit of blues all thrown in there. I play the harmonica as well.
Some people have gone on to become quite popular, like Vũ Đình Trọng Thắng from the band Ngọt with the tracks Cá Hồi Salmon, Cho Tôi Đi Theo, Take Me With You. The From Here band, Mai Khôi,
I wouldn't hurt you.
and many other artists who found themselves comfortable performing in such a unique space. Well, the music event is hosted by the Hanoi Social Club and is a favorite place for many expats. Well, the place is located in a small alley in the city, so the music is not so loud, it's not so crowded, so it's best for a night out for good music. This is Time Out, and until next time.
He'd closed the book on points he needed to defend. Then I remembered they have nothing on us. Flat wallets and frayed nerves are not what they ask it of.
So that's it for this edition of Expat Living Now. Do log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our content. Goodbye for now, and then until next time, I'm Michael Liu.